Hey, I mean, that was a good point.
I think we might start seeing some go back.
All right, everybody, now's the time. Brown right, motion, tailback slant. Let's put the women and children to bed and go looking for dinner, all right? On one, ready? Go, 13! Coming up, go, 13!
It is finally time for some state championship football. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on Sideline to Sideline, state championship watch party as we begin the first 11-man game, 2A Division II, between two powers of 2A football, the Munster Hornets and the Shiner Comanches. And what we're going to be doing, if this is the first time you've ever been here, we're going to be doing a pregame. Grant Goodwin of Sideline to Sideline will join me, and then Coach X. And then we're going to watch the game together. Just kind of talk through the game as it happens. We will have live chat. We've already had a couple people chat, including Munster ISD. We welcome Munster ISD into the chat. Also, intern Noe the Pro. He's in the chat as well. He'll be asking and answering questions. He'll also be here live in studio Friday for the Salina versus Kilgore state championship game. And then him and I are going to do a college football watch party on our other network, Outdrank the Coverage, watching a little Indiana versus Notre Dame to kick off the first college playoff football game of the year. But right now, what we're going to do is we're going to simply take us a quick break. And when we come back, Grant Goodwin and I break down this matchup. Also kind of just talk the overall what our view is of the state championship games 2A through 4A and a little bit of 5A and 6A. And we might even have a little playoff tree. We'll do all that when we come back right here on the pregame show. All right, Terry Bennett, now joined by my Sideline to Sideline co-host, Grant Goodwin. And before we get into the game, let's kind of just talk this whole week as for 2A, 3A, and 4A. You know, last year it was kind of I don't want to say it was a humdrum, but there wasn't a lot of exciting matchups. This year, I feel it's exactly the opposite. I feel like almost every game you can at least make a case for both teams, and at least every class has at least one game that will probably be a one-possession game.
Yeah, I think all the teams here in 2A are so physical, right? So I think the physicality is going to say something. There's also a lot of athleticism in the skill position areas in these teams. So I think these games are going to be very close.
When you look at the 2024 season, and I've always, and you and I have talked about this before many times on the air and off the air, you have the season and then you have the playoffs and state championship, and state championship's kind of detached from the rest of everything. So just looking at the totality of the season, what is your overriding thoughts for 2A through 4A for 2024?
I think the favorites did pretty well. A lot of times, the favorites are knocked out early in the playoffs. Some of them don't even make the playoffs. So I think we had pretty even seeding throughout the year, right? You had some teams that maybe weren't as good as what you thought they were. You had some teams like, say, in 2A, Sunray. We kind of expected Sunray to be there, and they're not. Post knocked them off. And then a very good Stanford team came up and knocked off Post. So there were teams like that, right? But not a lot of them. Carthage is there. We expected them to be there. Columbus is there in 4A. We expected them to be there. Malakoff is there. We expected them to be there. Munster to me was a region to semifinal favorite. I was still, they were so young last year. They're still young this year. I wasn't 100% sure that they would actually make it all the way to Arlington with the youth that they had. But here they are. Now they get to play a very talented Shiner team who's very physical. And that was a Shiner team as well, though, that was very young, that we thought was a semifinal type team that we weren't sure that would be there, and here they both are. So yeah,
I think for 2A through 4A, and honestly for all of the high school state championship playoffs, it's weird because it's a year of transition, because like in 4A, we're getting new state champions no matter what. In fact, we've got 4 teams that didn't play for the state championship last year, but these aren't new names. I mean, it's Salina, it's Kilgore, it's Carthage, and La Vega. In 3A, you've got Malakoff, Columbus, and Gunter. They've all been there. I mean, Malakoff and Gunter's both been there, but Columbus, first time. Woodville, first time. Munster has been there, but it's been since, 2017. Shiner's been there, but it's been, since 2021. And the same thing, Ganado, their first time. Stanford's an old hat, but it's been, 10 years since they've been there. So it's weird. It's like a transitional year, but it's just transitioning back to old powers. It's not like outside of, again, like Columbus and Woodville, it's nobody new that's in the state championship games.
But yeah, you don't have Anthony versus, I don't know, Huntington, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that bad, but we do have new blood, right? And if you want to extend this, let's go into 6A and 5A. 6A, the traditional powers, as in North Shore and Duncanville, they're out, right?
Yep.
In 5A, Alito's out. So, it's a lot of that. And I think that's good for the sport, though. I think that's good for our game and our brand in Texas high school football. When you have the traditional powers sometimes not make it, and you got some new blood, like Richmond and Randall or whatever it is, right? And 5A. So I like it, man. I like all the matchups that we're going to see this state championship weekend.
What do you think between 2A and 4A, what do you think will be the best game?
Well, the elephant in the room right now, and I think everybody will agree, is Columbus and Malakoff.
Yep.
That right there is going to be it's going to be a war, right? You got the athleticism of Columbus and Adam Schobel at quarterback, and Grayson Rigdon at running back, who has been unstoppable. We've seen him for the last 2 weeks just carrying the load for Columbus at times. And then the pure physicalness of Malakoff with Mike Jones and that Malakoff defense. I think that will be one of the best games. And then I also think Salina Kilgore will be really good.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't want to say people are sleeping on Salina Kilgore, but everybody, including
that's going to be a darn good game.
And I think Malakoff and Columbus and Salina and Kilgore are going to be two of those games where it's going to be like two heavyweights that don't know how to dodge. They're just going to get in the middle of the ring and they're just going to start swinging. I think La Vega versus Carthage could actually be that way. And I'm not going to say that, I think La Vega is going to upset Carthage, but we do know, and I know it's all the way back early in the season, but we saw how Kilgore at times was very physical with Carthage, and La Vega with their running back, I think there can be just as physical. And I will say this, of course there's going to be a couple games that are blowouts, and the Carthage-La Vega one could be, but I do not think there's going to be many blowouts between 4A and 2A this year. I don't really think there's going to be a lot of blowouts through the state championship week at all.
Well, we think that, but it never ends up being that. Every year we sit here, right, the week of, and we have 50% of the games are blowouts for whatever reason, right? So I'm not going to take that out of the stock. I think that might happen, but you're going to have at least one game out of each division be close instead of two blowouts for every 3 games.
Be just an amazing state championship game. Whoa, what's going on?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, playoff 3, man, Merry Christmas, happy state championship week. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, but I'll tell you, the reason I just popped on here real quick is I realized you left me out of the conversation last week. I got no airtime last week.
I apologize. We actually got a couple messages on a couple of the message boards that, we're on and we promote the show, asking what happened to Playoff Tree and everything. And I just said that, you went to visit your saplings.
Well, you say that, and look, I think we all know what's kind of going on here. We all think the beef is between me and Coach X, but really, I think it's between you and I, Terry.
Wait, we don't have any beef. You sit in my studio 24/7. I keep you lit. I keep you happy. I keep Lazy Dog Kettle Corn around you. How could you be unhappy with me?
Well, that kettle corn's probably pretty good. It's hard for a tree to eat. I mean, how do you feed popcorn to a tree? But I digress. I think the problem is here, you found out a few secrets between you and I and your ex-wife.
Wait, which ex-wife and what secrets?
Your first ex-wife, right? Why are you laughing?
Yeah.
This is serious stuff. I think your daughter is probably my daughter.
Wait, what?
Let me play this out for you, Terry. So
Okay.
back when you were living in Rush, Texas, your daughter, your ex-wife contacted me on Facebook. Actually, it was MySpace back then.
It was
convinced me to come back from Woodville up to Russ to have a few drinks. I did. A few things happened, and boom. Let me ask you this, Terry. What's your oldest daughter's name?
Oh, my only daughter's name is Timber.
Right. Timber!
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. So are you trying to tell me, because, to pull back the curtain, we're recording these and I'm recording with Coach X tomorrow. So you and Coach X, y'all have buried the hatchet. Y'all are perfectly fine now. Y'all are buddies. Y'all are going to have fun at the Christmas party Saturday night.
No, not necessarily. He's got a daughter coming up he didn't know about. They're going to name Cypress. And not the terrorist organization.
Oh, wait. Wow, dude. Well, hey, wait. Why I have you here? I know where you're rooting. Who you're rooting for this week, and you got to be exactly. How happy are you to see Woodville make it?
Oh, I am so happy, Terry. I played. I was a nose guard for a while there. I could find a jersey fit me. We weren't very good, but man, nobody could run up front against us. Now, gap control was not my thing. I was just right over the center. Couldn't go left or right, but man, you want to go up. And I'll tell you, I'm trying to get Woodville. I'm trying to get them to let me go on to the charter bus with them up to Arlington. it's a long way from Woodville to Arlington. I didn't want to drive myself, mainly because, there's not a car tree, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm trying to get in on the fan charter bus that the Booster Club is renting, and I still might have a chance. I said if 42 people back out, they can fit me in.
Well, I do want to point
There's
this
only
out.
been one person out of 42 back out, so I don't know, but maybe if I could get a GoFundMe and some people could put together like a lumber, when you're down in Lufkin, you see all the timber trucks, maybe if they could rent one of those out for me, lay me up on top. I don't know if
So
I'd
you
sit
want
in the stadium, but
you want to go fund lumber site for you?
yeah, for sure. I got wood.com.
So wow. So we had a Woodville fan. You I was going to email us. We'd appreciate it if you don't have Playoff Tree on anymore. But we had a fan, Scott from Woodville, said, "Hey, we appreciate the support from Playoff Tree, but we do want to point out that we're partly named Woodville because we're known for cutting trees down and processing them. So does that worry you in any way? Do you feel like you're letting your other tree brethren down with your Christmas tree privilege that you have?"
No, not at all. That's the world and the tree world, right? Basically, only the strong survive. So they cut down basically the ones that are not genetically engineered and more like Terminator type, such as myself. I've been here a long time. I'm not going anywhere except for hopefully Arlington on what day is that? Thursday or Friday?
Yeah,
Thursday.
playoff trees don't really have a sense of time, do you?
My calendar, yeah, it's made out of wood and therefore it degrades over time and it degraded. So, yes.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us and happy state championship week and Merry Christmas to
Thank
you.
you. Go Woodville.
All right, Grant, now that playoff tree is left, let's jump right into it. We're going to start off with 2A Division II, Munster 13-2, the Region 2 champs versus Shiner 12-3, the Region 4 champs. It's funny because this is one of those games that now that you look at it after the season, you go, oh, yeah, this makes sense. But both of these teams, especially Shiner, started off the year struggling. Now, to be fair, a lot of it is who both of them played. And also, to be fair, one of the reasons both of these teams are here is because of their non-district schedules.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, they both got off to slow starts, right? But it was because who they played, and it made them stronger.
On the year, let's do a little tell the tape here. On the year, Munster's averaging 50 points a game. They're giving up only 15. Shiner's scoring 37 points a game. They're giving up 12. Now, this was a little bit surprising. Well, I say it's surprising, but when you actually look at the playoffs for Munster, it really isn't. But Shiner played a tough schedule. But the opponent's records for Munster, 110-57. The opponent's records for Shiner, 79-79. And that right there is where I think might be one of the differences in this game. Yes, Shiner has played good teams, but when you look at who Munster has played just in the playoffs alone, I mean, when you talk about playing, Groover and Collinsville for a second time and Albany in back-to-back weeks, and if they then beat Shiner, Munster will have basically beat 5 of the top 10 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, if you go off of that, then Munster wins by 2 to 3 touchdowns, right? Mm-hmm. But I think Shiner, the physicality and the brand of ball they play is not going to allow them to get out of the game in the fourth quarter. They're going to have a shot this whole game. They're so physical. They're athletic on the back end on both sides of the football. Now, Munster is so diverse. The Carney kid at quarterback can run it. He throw it. They're physical up front on both sides of the ball, just like Shiner. I think the thing about this game is both these teams mirror each other, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's exactly what Carney said.
Right, and that's why I think this might be one of the best games of the whole state championship week.
I I think it's going to be a great game. You talked about Case and Carney on the year, 2,900 passing yards, 34 touchdowns. He also had 1,400 yards rushing, 28 touchdowns. I think a lot of people don't know, though, how good their tight end / wide receiver Garrett Hess is. 49 catches, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. He is 6'4". He's listed as a tight end, but he basically splits out a bunch. He
look at him on defense.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing in both of these teams. Everybody we're talking about on offense flipped them over on defense and vice versa. Like Tate Sampson, the middle linebacker for Munster. That dude's a beast, and he's going to be all over the place. He had a touchdown Simon Johnson had a touchdown. Their other linebacker on a pick six against Groover. Now with Shiner, Carson Schutz, their quarterback. Now over the last few weeks, they've kind of morphed back into Shiner of old, where they're running a lot more of their power sets, their veers. They'll still get into the spread, but that's usually because, as Coach Carney says in his segment, that's when they want their quarterback to run. I think this game is close, but you kind of actually inadvertently kind of picked what I think. I think Munster wins by 14.
I think Munster wins, but I think it's a lot closer than 14. I
want to be fair. The 14 is going to be a back and forth game. You know, I always say that's one of my cliches. Yeah. It's a 7-point game, and then Munster makes a defensive stand, knocks it in, and seals the deal. But I'm like you. I think this is back and forth all game. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a situation where Shiner's leading at the half 14-13 or 14-7. But I just think at the end of the day, I think Munster's just a little bit more dynamic offensively and a little bit better defensively in what's going to be a close game.
Well, I think both offenses are going to match each other physically up front. I think it comes down to the question is whose defense is going to be more physical, and I do like Munster's defense by a hair, not a lot, because I think Shiner is almost equally physical up front, the front seven, but I like Munster. They're able to control a lot of scrimmage on defense, the defensive front, and I think Munster comes in with a win in this game by maybe 4 to 7 points. I think it's very close.
I have no problem with that. And again, as we all
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easier to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. And the concussions I've got, I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
All right, Sarah Bennett back here on the state championship preview shows. We now are joined on this segment brought to you by Lazy Dog Kettle Corn, the venerable, the legend, I think in his own mind, Oregon's own Coach X. And Coach X, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, man. It's just been living up and down the North Coast, driving up and down the PC, whatever, H and PVD highway, there in California, and living the good life with the hippies and the cowboys.
It
I understood what that song meant until this summer.
It definitely is VD Highway there in California. I'm still confused, knowing your, I don't want to say political leanings, in today's world. I don't want to get you canceled by 50% of our audience, but you're not going to be very hippie-ish with your beliefs, yet you end up in what might be hippie haven.
Yeah, it's true, man. You got to go where the work is, though, dude. Like I interviewed with this girl, and she was like, "I have 3 openings," and I was like, "Yes, I know. I'm here to fill them." and then she made me leave. And I really think you overestimate our audience. I really think my political beliefs, these things I believe, would not alienate 50% of our listening audience.
No,
I don't think we bring high with the hippies in Texas, and I don't think the hippies watch football. They're killing football, like with taking cut blocks and hard hits out of the game. Those are what the hippies are doing.
Well, to be fair, I say that, I don't want our stuff to get up on, well, I guess not X anymore since Elon owns it, but I don't want anybody pearl clutching about when they hear about you going for 3 holes and such.
I mean, you got to go for all 3. I mean, that's what they got. That's what you got to do. It's just 3 possibilities. If you just get 1, I mean, you're doing good. If you get 2, that's awesome. If you get 3, then you marry them.
Well, if you get really crazy, you can go for 5 or 6.
I don't want to get into your personal life at any means, but stuff. Maybe your stuff fits in ears and noses, but not me.
Anyway, so we had Playoff Tree on, and Playoff Tree claims that y'all have made a truce and that y'all are buddies again. And in fact, he wants to hug you during the Christmas party that L4 Media is having this Saturday. But before I accept that, I want to hear it from you. Are y'all friends again?
Hell no, screw that guy. All right, he runs his mouth and he wants to say apologize and freaking sap and crap and sad and timber and pine straw. No, not even close, man. That man, in fact, I'm starting another burn pile at my house, and I'm looking to pick up a playoff tree to put on top of the burn pile because that will go up really fast and help me out with some yard clippings and various things in my neighborhood. So yeah, playoff tree, dude, don't be lying. I hate you. I always have and I always will. And you really do, I don't understand you. So I don't even know how you can say, maybe you did say, let's make up, and I didn't understand this freaking bass voice, and I was just like, yeah, cool, man, whatever. Yeah, let's do that. So maybe that happened. Like the low tucker on Seinfeld when Jerry had to wear the puffy shirt. Maybe that's what I agreed to, but I hate playoff tree, and I always will.
I don't have the heart to tell the tree. He talks about his upbringing down in the Angelina County and the big thicket and all, and I don't have the heart to tell him, like, dude, you're not a real tree. Like, you're plastic. I mean, you're as plastic as the boob jobs were in the 80s. I mean, I don't think he understands that. I think he thinks he's a real tree.
No, he's as much of a tree as Jamie Kennedy was a rapper in Malibu's Little
Hey, now. Hey, I love that movie. Speaking of politics, he has went so far right on YouTube. It is so funny to watch him. Anybody just type in Jamie Kennedy's podcast. But I love that money. The funniest thing is, did you ever notice he kind of made the same movie twice with just a little bit of a different plot? One of them, he's a rich white boy rapper. The other one, he's a rich white boy hip hop dancer. Of course, that one he gets hit in the head and wakes up like 20 years later. But I always thought it was funny that they were kind of the same movie.
Yeah, the second movie you're talking about is, what movie are you talking about?
Oh man, let me see. I can't think of the name of it now. You don't remember that movie where he's part of a dance crew like in 1988, and they're like real, they're hip hop and they're rap and all that, and then Kicking It Old School came out in 2007. I
didn't watch that.
Yeah, it's not a good movie. It's not a good movie at all. It's terrible.
What would you rather watch, that one or Freddie Got Fingered?
Freddie Got Fingered, because Freddie Got Fingered, it's a funny movie in that the studio asked Tom Green to make a movie, and he said no, and they said, here is as much money as you want, and he said, okay, it's going to be crap, and they're like, we don't care. And it's actually, if you've watched it enough, it's actually one of those stupid movies that has a lot of really funny wit into it. And also Rip Torn, man, he went for it. He played his part like it was like this was the most serious role. I actually have a really, really soft spot for Freddie Got Fingered.
Yeah, you must have smoked a lot of dope back in the 90s.
I mean, like a couple hours ago. Oh yeah, in the 90s. Yes. Yeah, Tom Green was right in my wheelhouse as far as my age. In fact, I think we're like the same age, and he was one of the first guys that did that true absurd, doesn't make kind of sense humor, and I just absolutely love him.
This is true. I'll give you that.
All right, so are you going to be back on the sidelines after the probation? I mean, your terms end. Are you going to be back in Texas this year?
I like it out here filling 3 openings with hippie chicks. They're everybody, the hippie chicks get a bad rap, but they're into a lot of stuff, and you can go in a hut with them, and man, you can come out 3 days later and be like, whoa, what happened there? So, the myth of rich waspy girls do it the best is kind of like not true. Like you want to get, but then you got to listen to them talk and all that kind of stuff, Texas is kind of where it's at because if you remove the lust from your eyes and your heart, you'll realize that women aren't all that interesting. And so you just got to get back to where there's football. And there's no football like there's Texas football anywhere in the world. It's kind of like there's no business like snow business or something, whatever the Christmas trailers say. There's snow business and show business and old business or something. And so, yes, we'll be coming back to Texas.
Speaking of hippies and another 20-year movie reference, that reminds me of the Without a Paddle when they meet the 2 hippie girls, the tree huggers, and they're extremely hot, but they haven't obviously shaved their legs in 6 months or so.
Yeah, you run into some of that too. You just got to pretend they're French and just go for it.
All right, before we turn our attention to the game, Grant and I always do this, and you and I did this last year where we kind of just take a step back and look at all of the state championship games between 2A and 4A, and really this year between 2A all the way up to 6A. The last couple years, it was kind of like, okay, there'll be 1 or 2 good games. Franklin, give Franklin credit, man. When they're in a state championship game, whether they're losing a heartbreaker to Canadian on a Hail Mary, basically, or beating Brock because they throw the one pass to clinch the game, or last year losing to Malakoff in a back-to-back, affair. But that's usually stands out. Then there's a lot of blowouts. To me, this year, it feels like we actually have a lot of even matchups between 2A and 4A, but also between 2A all the way up to 6A.
Yeah, it means there's going to be some 40-point spreads.
Yeah.
Usually when you gear up like, oh man, this is going to be a great game, and then you third quarter it's 56-7, or something like that, or the game you're like, man, this game ain't going to be nothing. Freaking Smith and Valley's got this in the bag, and then there's a nail biter they have to make a stop on fourth and 2 inches to secure the win or something like that. So I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of good games there. I'm not, because I'm not driving there to see a bunch of blowouts where you're like, well, I'm in Arlington. Maybe you can go to a strip club or something like that, I guess. But I'm there to watch football. So I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of close, tight games that make you want to stay there until the fourth quarter.
All right, well, let's turn our attention to tonight's game, Coach X. Munster 13-2 versus Shiner 12-3. Both of these teams have a combined 5 losses, but both of these teams lost to great teams such as Poth and Holiday and Pottsboro. So they punched above their weight in non-district, but since then they've both been just absolutely dominating at the 2A Division II level. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, Munster's been good for a while, or they're always good, and they had that really good run at the early part of the teens of the 2000s where they won football, basketball, and baseball. But they're always athletic. They got a great athletic program. Shiner had that one kind of all season where they went 3-7 and made the playoffs barely, and then they made the third round of the playoffs and ended up 5-8 or something like that. But then they've obviously bounced back pretty hard. You can't pick against Shiner because they make the best beverage in Texas, and any town that has a brewery in it that's as old as the Spotswood Brewery and is as Texan as it is, it's hard to go against Shiner. And any place that makes their town rotate or function around a brewery is going to have usually large human beings that are good at football. And, so that's going to be tough, and they're never going to be down very long. And then, but that also goes with the Germans from Munster. Usually Germans are large people, and large people are usually pretty good at football. And so this ought to be a hell of a game in the trenches, and then have some large, square-headed people running the football every once in a while.
I have to say this. So, Studio and wife and I were a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, we were at the liquor store, and I saw some Shiner vodka. And I'm like, hey, it's Shiner, right? Dude, it's the worst alcohol I have ever had. It is terrible. I have not done this in 10 years. I wrote a strongly worded email about how bad it was. And they responded very nicely that they wanted to send me more. And I'm like, why would I want more? Like,
why would I want more of what I don't like?
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't it wasn't
That's the name of Grant's sex tape.
There we go. I love that. But yeah, I mean, it's not like I went to Whataburger and just had a bad burger and hey, make it up to me. They were. I mean, I appreciate it, but I was like, no, I'm good. You can just send me a case of beer and I'll give it to my co-host. But you have Shiner winning this one.
Man, this is tough, because Munster's always really good. They're always, they're one of those, they make a soft cheese. It's really good as well too. It's great.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I love Munster cheese.
Got the orange rind on it, and you think maybe that's where it comes from. But, the Germans are good at football and drinking beer. The Shiners are good at football and drinking beer, and they're usually pretty German, so they probably shouldn't be messing around with vodka, because I doubt there's a whole lot of Russians rushing around Shiner. But, yeah, dude, I can't pick against the fighting box. So I got to go with Shiner in a very, very close, hard-fought game, and they pull it out in the end.
All right, everybody, now's the time. Brown right, motion, tailback slant. Let's put the women and children to bed and go looking for dinner, all right? On one, ready? Go, 13! Go, 13!
All right, Terry Bennett back here. The pregame is over. The game is about to start, so join us here. Tell your family and friends if they want to enjoy the game with a little bit of chat. We've got some people on. Looks like we have about 500 watching at the moment. We've got a bunch of people in the chat. If you want to jump into the chat, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, I'll see it through our browser our restreams that we use, and I'll try to answer it as much as we can. Munster versus Shiner. The cool thing is with what the UIL does is they give us a scoreboard that we can use. We're going to put it up. All right, there we go. If you see me looking right, that's because my monitor that I use to keep everything going is to the right. There's one in front of me too, but for some reason it's just easier to look at this one. But we're a commercial away. Shiner's going to be in their all white uniforms with the purple helmet and the Shiner logo. Munster's in black tops, white pants, white helmet with the 90s Hornets script across the helmet. I think this is going to be a good game. And as we've talked about in the pregame, and you'll hear it through the whole, if you watch all these, I think that this is some of the most balanced games that we're going to have and that we have had for a couple years, especially 2A through 4A. And like Grant said, there's going to be a couple blowouts, a couple of them that you think, and there might be one or two that you're not expecting as well. Brett Swinney of NETSN, he feels that Munster's going to win. He feels it because of their schedule. Now, to point out, Shiner had a tough schedule as well, and they played, Poth, and they got beat by them. I can't remember who else they got beat by. I think Edna beat them. Munster got beat by Pottsboro and Holiday. The crazy thing for Munster, though, has been what they've done in the playoffs. You know, when you look at them beating Albany, beating Collinsville, beating Groover in back-to-back weeks. Of course, Albany, the two-time defending state champ. Collinsville, Munster's district brethren, and they have a great rivalry. And then, of course, Groover had one heck of a season out there winning Region 1. So, I mean, both of these teams have been battle-tested, but I do think Munster has probably been a little bit more battle-tested. Again, how much does that really matter? We'll find out. I'll try to keep the scoreboard as even as I can, but also we'll scroll down and look at certain things like when they get to the stats and everything of the individual players. As the new FanDuel Sports Network used to be Bally's. I do think it's a little funny that you have high school football on a FanDuel network, but hey, it is what it is. At least we have it on TV. Both of these teams, Shiner won it. You know, they had that two stretch with the Dalton or the Brooks brothers. And then Munster won it back in 2017. They're showing Shiner's locker room right now. Head coach Daniel Bodecker, 70-14 in 6 seasons as the head coach of Shiner. Multiple state champs. Coach Brady Carney on the TV. Of course, we had the Munster football show this week. Great interview with him this week, talking about what it was like, having Kaysen, his son, as the starting quarterback, how much that means to him. 15 seasons as the head coach of the Hornets, 166 wins, only 36 losses. Shiner will receive. We talked about it last week with Munster and Groover that they kind of mirrored each other. I think Shiner and Munster mirror each other. Now, Munster's going to probably throw the ball a little bit more, but just their athleticism and kind of what they want to do both offensively and defensively. Munster will kick off to begin things. And kickoff has started. It's going to be an onside kick attempt, and Munster got it. Wow, Munster with the onside kick, and they strike first. And it looks like it went. Oh, did it? Yeah, exactly like Greg Tepper said on the broadcast. Shiner won the toss, elected to receive, and then Munster gets the onside. So if Munster handles this right, they'll get the ball to start both halves. First play, a big pass play to Garrett Hess down to about the 31-yard line. So Munster with the onside kick. And now a first down on the first play. Carney on the year threw for 2,900 yards, 34 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He also ran for 1,400 yards and 28 touchdowns. Going to throw a little hitch out to the outside across the 25, breaks a tackle. And everybody talked about how great Garrett Hess is, and he is, but they've got a couple other good receivers like Maverick Bayer and Hayden Flitman, a very solid offensive line. So first down and 10 for Munster. They're driving after getting the onside kick. Carney going to take off this time. He's going to break a tackle, and momentum is all on Munster's side right now. Shiner's defense right now is on skates. Carney's going to run it again, going to break a tackle down to the 10, down to the 6-yard line. Having some issues with the stat thing. It's going all the stats, but it's not giving the clock there on the scoreboard. But as you can tell so far, 43 total yards for Munster on this opening drive after they got the onside kick. So if you missed that, Shiner won the toss. They elected to receive. Munster onside kicked it and got the ball, and it's been all Munster so far here early, 1st and goal. Carney keeps the ball, and he'll dive down inside the 5, down to, it looks like they're going to give him about the 3-yard line. Another keeper for Carney, his 4th in a row, and Munster strikes first. 6-0 they lead. Wow. What a beginning for Munster with the onside kick and then driving down. I don't think they got to 3rd down all drive. I think, in fact, they barely got to 2nd down. And the extra point is good. So with 10:14 here left in the first quarter, Munster stuns Shiner with the onside kick and then drive down 49 yards and the touchdown. So Munster leads, and that's huge. I mean, we talked about it in the pregame, and Coach Carney and I talked about it in the Munster show about, how even this game everybody felt was, and little things like, getting an onside kick to start the game, and not just getting the onside kick. I mean, that's great in of itself. You take a possession away from your opponent, but then to drive down the field, and I don't want to say drive down the field relatively easy, but it was pretty easy as they went 49 yards, 29 on the through the air, 20 on the ground. And Kason Carney took the last 4 carries himself, including it hitting pay dirt. And so now we'll have to see how Shiner responds. Now, I'm really shocked by that. I'm not shocked about the score, but just how they did it. Hey, Gymnet Sports Nation. For that drive, they mainly were in their spread the whole time. They're going to do a lot of their things out of the spread. Shiner's going to, they kind of flip around with their formations, not quite as much as like Groover. Coach Brady Carney from Munster was telling me this week, with Groover, they had to worry about 20 to 30 different motion sets and everything. With Shiner, you don't have to as much. They're going to run the ball out of the shotgun whenever they want to have the quarterback keep it, but they're going to run a lot of their old school power veer concepts. They've kind of went back to that. And so that's where the Comanches, but for Munster, they're going to do 90% of their stuff out of the spread. Every once in a while, they'll go under center. So now we'll see if Munster will actually kick off this time. They lead 7-0 with 10-14 left in the game. The scoreboard's a little ahead of me. You'll just have to accept that because I'm streaming and the scoreboard is direct. This time it'll be a pop-up. Still not kicking it deep. Good pursuit, and Shiner will get the ball out at about the 22-yard line. So 10:09 left in the first. Schutte, the quarterback for Shiner. He's a lot like Kason Carney. He doesn't throw quite as much. He's only has 1,000 yards through the air, 1,000 yards on the ground, but his touchdown to INT ratio is awesome at 12-1. He also has 17 touchdowns. They're going to line up and split back one wide to the far left. Here comes that vaunted Shiner veer, and not much on the first play, as Munster does a good job of sealing that edge and setting it. They're going to say no gain, 2nd down and 10. Good pursuit and good penetration right there by Munster early. Big play now for Shiner all the way up to the 45-yard line. Good 2nd down play for them. It'll be a big 1st down and 10. And I think a very needed big play right there for Shiner, who that, again, kind of stunned by that onside kick and then that drive by Munster. They needed this, I think. So 1st down and 10. And with that veer, you're just going to get belly, then pitch. And then every once in a while, the quarterback will keep. Sometimes he'll pull out like a bootleg, and sometimes he'll keep it. And that's where they've done a lot of their passing, is in that little bootleg from the veer, and sometimes in shotgun as well. Quincy Jones is one of their big guys in the run game, but they're going to have multiple backs. So 8:45 left here in the first quarter. Munster up 7-0. Shiner with the ball trying to drive. Just got into Munster territory across the 47. So 3rd down and 3 now here. They're going to run the option and going to get a big 1st down and more for Shiner. Great open field tackle there. Saved what could have been a 15 or 20-yard play, but another 1st down for Shiner as they're trying to answer the Munster touchdown. Well, that pitch almost got away from him. That just a little high, but right in the wheelhouse. Caleb Cowan with the rush. On the year, he has about 400 yards and 7 touchdowns. Now they're going to 2-set left, split back. Slot goes in motion to set up to the right, now back to the left. This time he gets across the middle, and that's about it. But that's what Shiner's going to do, man. They're going to fall forward, and then they'll do those little pitches right when your ends are ready to pinch in because they think it's going to be, up the middle again. And that's where they kind of play that chess game where are you going to catch them? Are you going to catch your ends pinching in? Because if you do, you're going to give a big play. Second down and 8 for Shiner. There's that belly play again for a couple yards. It'll set up another 3rd and about 6. .643 left here in the first quarter. Munster up 7-0 if you're just now joining us. We're going to be here for all of the 2A, 3A, 4A games, just like this setup, where we have our pregame package, and then we're just going to sit and talk some football as we watch it. Shotgun formation for the first time with 3 wide outs for Shiner. Looking to throw. He's going to run now, and he's got plenty of room for the first down, and he's going to get tackled right at the line. It looked like he was going to get a lot more, but again, another big 3rd down play. And man, if you're going to play against Shiner, you're going to get really, really frustrated if you keep letting them get big 3rd downs. And that's the second 3rd down conversion. Shiner's 2 for 2 on this drive. So first down and 10 at the 27.5 for Shiner. Again, just right up the middle for a couple yards. That's what they're going to do on 1st and 2nd down. Garrett Hess, the stud tight end, is also a stud defensive player. He's just a football warrior. Both of these teams are like that. You just got football players up and down the field. Measurables are theirs for some, but for others, it's all heart. But it's all football. Now we're going to see 3 wides in a shotgun for Shiner. And this is a design quarterback run. And that's when and good penetration right there, but Munster going to be a loss of about 2. That's the one thing about what they do offensively that, in my opinion, can hurt them at times is when you put Shude in shotgun, you're kind of telling the defense, we're probably going to run him. Yeah, they'll throw it occasionally, but like I said earlier, he only threw for 1,000 total yards so far up to this point in 16 games. So when you put him in shotgun, you're kind of giving the defense a tail. So a big 3rd down and 11 here for Shiner at their Munster 29-yard line. 2 for 2 so far on 3rd downs for the Comanches. And it's going to be incomplete. So 4th down and 11. Let's see what Shiner wants to do here. I think they're going to have to go for it here. They're kind of in that spot where if you punt, you're not going to get a lot of yards if you put it in the end zone, and you're definitely not going to try for a field goal right here unless Brandon Aubrey comes out. And as you can tell by the score, I haven't seen it yet, but Shiner is going to score on a huge 4th and 11 as Schutte hits Quincy Jones in the about the 5, and he carries it in. And wow, on 4th and 11, how big is that? I'm sorry, Quincy Williams. I think I said Quincy Jones. The freshman. Wow, dude, we're talking about big plays from both teams here early. Great job by Schutte in the pocket. staying alive as long as he could. He got hit as he threw. The extra point is up, and the extra point is good. So with 4:11 left in the first quarter, it's 7-7, Munster and Shiner. This game is already living up to the billing. We're going to take a quick break here on the Class 2A Division II State Championship Watch Party. All right, Terry, been back here. 7-7, Shiner and Munster. Again, Munster started the game off with an onside kick that they executed perfectly. They immediately drove down and scored. Shiner got the ball back. They went 2 for 3 on third downs, but on 4th down and 11, they hit the big 29-yard touchdown pass from Shude to Quincy Williams. And it felt like, man, if Munster stops them right there, you're starting to go, okay, Munster can maybe move and get up 2 scores. But a big answer for Shiner right there. And we've got a ball game, folks. And I kind of think we all felt this would be one of the good games. Again, turnovers and penalties and injuries will always alter things. But so far, this has been everything we thought it was going to be. Shiner, of course, 3-time state champs. That went 12 plays for 78 yards, 5 minutes and 58 seconds. Sorry, that was Jarvis Williams, not Quincy. Quincy Jones is the running back. I don't have a real roster, so I'm just trying to going off of what I see. So Munster now will get their second time with the ball, and they've got a big kickoff return set up all the way up to the 35. Oh, what a great offensive tackle. Special teams tackle right there. It looked like Munster was about to at least get across the 50 with that. So far, special teams are going Munster's way with the onside kick and the nice return. So after the nice return, Munster's first play was a toss out to the right for about a 4-yard gain. So far, Munster has yet to have a negative play offensively. And Kearney now with a big run up across the first down, up across the 50 to the 45 to the 43. So just like that, Munster's back in Shiner territory. So 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Ball's going to be caught near the first down and going to be a first down. So this Munster offense so far is just rolling right now. This offense, both of these offenses, they do different things, but they do different things, but doing with the same philosophy to set up the run, for Munster to also set up the pass. And as Shiner will see, they had a touchdown pass. But it's fun to watch. This is one of the things I love about high school and college. And while I'm a huge NFL fan, the diversity of offenses in college and high school is so fun to watch. Design keeper for Kearney, and once again, a big gain all the way up to like an 8-yard gain. 2:20 left here in the first quarter. Been an action-packed first quarter so far. They're pointing it out on the broadcast, but we've been talking about it all year on Sideline to Sideline, how young Munster is. Peel now takes the gain, and he's going to get a first down. Intern Noe the Pro's watching, so I'm just going to say, hey, Intern Noe the Pro, this game is like the 1969 Texas Longhorns. So 1st and 10 now for Munster, 7-7. Kearney going to dump it out to Peel, and we're going to have our first negative play by the Shiner defense as they tried to do a little dump off to Peel, and Shiner had that one sniffed out pretty quickly. So for the first time, Munster is facing a 2nd and 13, a 2nd and long. Kearney looking to throw, has his target. Going to be short of the first down, but it's going to go from 2nd and 13 to about 3rd and 2? The first 3rd down of the game for Munster. Again, Shiner on their last drive went 2 for 3 on 3rd downs, but then they got the 4th down conversion on the 29-yard touchdown. Kearney's going to get the first down, almost broke it for a touchdown. He's going to get tackled at about the 5-yard line. So far on the game, Kearney 5 for 5 through the air, 48 yards. He already has 52 yards on the ground with a touchdown. So 1st and goal for Munster. This time Peel's going to take it, and he's going to get up to about the 1, maybe the 1.5, depending on where they say the knee went down. Munster doesn't have to run another play if they don't want to end the quarter, and I don't think they will. So we're going to take a break with them. End of the first quarter. Shiner 7, Munster 7 in the Class 2A Division II state championship game.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easier to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. in the concussions I've got, and I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
All right, Terry Bennett back here as we're ready to start the second quarter. Munster knocking on the door once again, as this game is tied 7-7. Munster began the game with the onside kick, promptly drove it down. Shiner responded with a key 4th down and 11 touchdown pass. Again, we'll be back tomorrow for all 3 games. And then Friday, we're going to do the first 2 games, the 2 4A games. Intern Noe the Pro will be in studio with me for the Kilgore versus Salina game at 3 p.m. And then him and I are going to do a playoff college football watch party of Indiana and Notre Dame on Outdrank the Coverage. Carney up the middle, and he'll get his second touchdown of the game. So the Hornets open the second quarter by retaking the lead, 13-7, pending the extra point. I mean, they have not even got close to stopping Kaysen today. 8 carries, 53 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And the extra point is good. So 11:55 left in the half. Munster is ahead 14-7. A reminder, at halftime, Grant Goodwin will join me from the stadium. He's at AT&T Stadium this week, and he's going to probably join me for most of the halftimes. Good crowd there tonight for the 2A Division II game, it looks like. Again, we'll be back here tomorrow for Stanford versus Ganado, Gunter versus Woodville, and Malakoff versus Columbus. All right, here we go. Another short kick. Now, this actually went a little bit longer, as Munster will take it at the 20, up to the 25, up to the 27, and that's where Shiner will take the ball. Trailing. Yeah, Bremond game for Shiner last week. You know, both teams got challenged last week. Munster hadn't been challenged in almost a month and a half until then, like truly challenged. Groover gave them everything they could handle, but a 14-point swing at the end of that first half is what really did it for Munster. Shiner's going to take that first snap of the first play and just do what the Veer does, and that's off tackle to the right. Shiner, as I show the stat, 66 points they gave up in the first 3 games. Since then, they've given up a total of 57 points. That's crazy right there. Second down for them now. Quarterback keeper by Shoedays. He looked the pitch, but he's going to keep it. He's going to get the first down. He's going to get outside the 40-yard line, and the Comanches are on the drive. Another little toss that time. Now we got a flag. Man, we haven't had many of those. That might even actually be the first flag of the night. Big penalty as it's a block below the waist that'll knock Shiner back 15 yards. East Texas chapter of the officials for this one. You know, both of these teams are pretty young. Jarvis Williams, who caught the touchdown for Shiner, he's a freshman. Of course, we've talked about it with Munster. They're just almost completely all juniors. They do have some key seniors, but they're young. This is one of those circle this because we could very well see this same game next year. Toss sweep now, or toss pass, I should say, or toss pitch. Big play for Shiner. First down, he's going to break a tackle down the sideline. It's a foot race, and he's going to score. What a run as Shiner, extra point away from tying it up. Wow. Big play right there. Oh, we got a flag. It's an unsportsmanlike conduct against Shiner, so the touchdown stands. Quincy Jones takes it to the house. That was on 1st and 25. Now, one thing to see is Jones looks like he's pretty banged up after that, but man, big play offense right there from Shiner. Oh, they're going to review if he stayed in bounds. Remember now, at the state championship game, replays are available. Looking now to see if he stayed in bounds. Yeah, he stayed in bounds. Shiner, you got to be a little bit worried with Jones. He's on the sideline, and he looks like he is in pain. Extra point attempt is good. So with 10-11, it's all offense here in this game. 14-14. So on 2 consecutive scoring drives for Shiner, they converted a 4th and 11, and they got a touchdown on a 1st and 25. That's the kind of things, if you're Munster, you got to be frustrated at, because you've had them twice where you feel like, okay, we just make a play, we're going to get the ball back. And on both of them, Shiner has scored touchdowns. So we're in the commercial break. So far through the game, you'll talk about being even. It is definitely even, as Shiner has 165 total yards, Munster 111. But remember, Munster had an onside kick, so they had a shorter field. Munster's thrown for 48 and ran for 63. Shiner has thrown for 29 and a touchdown and ran now for 136. 2 penalties, both 15-yarders, one for each team. Munster with 7 first downs. Shiner with 6 first downs. Shiner 2 for 3 on 3rd, 1 for 1 on 4th down. Of course, that was a touchdown. Munster has only faced 1 third down in 2 drives. They're 1 for 1 on that. Average yards per play, Shiner 11. A lot of that is on the two big plays, the pass and then the run. And then Munster's averaging 6.9 yards. Time of possession, Shiner 7 minutes and 47 seconds. Munster 6 minutes and 2 seconds. As we come back with 10-11 left here in the first half. Again, Grant Goodwin will join me at halftime. Munster looks like they might be expecting Shiner to onside kick it now. And it's going to be a little high kick, but Munster's going to get it. It wasn't the traditional onside. It was more of a pooch. And remember, Munster had the penalty against them. That was a 15-yarder, and that's why Shiner tried that. So Munster will take over now. And for the first time in the game, Shiner, it bottles Case and Carney up and is going to lose about 1.5 yards. Let's see if maybe momentum is starting to swing towards Shiner's way after the two big touchdowns that they've had. Neither team has stopped each other yet. Again, Munster got the extra possession because of the onside to start the game. So 2nd and 13, only the second time Munster's starting past the 10 yards. Looking to throw the ball, has a man. Ball's almost intercepted. And now, just like that, it's 3rd and 13. In a game that feels like there's not going to be a lot of stops all of a sudden, this all of a sudden becomes a very big play. Now, in saying that, these two defenses are so good, it wouldn't shock me if we have this initial salvo by the both offenses and then the game kind of slows down. But we'll see. Big third down here. Only the second third down for Munster this game. He's going to dump it off short on 3rd down. He's going to have to do a lot to get the first down, and he's going to be short by about 1 yard at the 42. Now, does Carney go for it right here? Parker Bailey asked, why isn't NFHS streaming this? Well, because this goes to the TV, FanDuel Network, which was old Bally's. They take over. You can actually still watch it on FanDuel Network online on their website as well. So I guess technically they're still streaming it. 4th and 1 now. Looks like Munster's going to line up to go for it. But he can pooch kick it. But he's not. He's going to go for it. He's going to get the first down. Man, gutsy call right there. But, you know, that's what both of these teams are going to do. Of course, Shiner hit the touchdown on the 4th and 11. Munster gets the first down on 4th and short. Greg Tepper kind of said it best about Munster and their offense. Their offensive line is not massive by any stretch, but they play bigger. Peel now trying to get to the outside on the little handoff. He's going to get a nice gain. And the reason they play bigger is the leverage. They're so good at getting leverage. They're so good at their angles when they're blocking that they block with more power than they physically should, I guess is the way to say it. Carney gets sacked, and he looks banged up, and he almost fumbled. It looks like Shiner's starting to get some penetration on this Munster offensive line. It's now 2nd and 19. Little throwback screen. Got some room. Big play all the way down near the first down. These two offenses have done such a good job on these longer down and distances early. The little throwback screen, perfect call. We had just said how Shiner looked like they were getting more penetration. Their ears are kind of pinned back, and then you do a little throwback screen. Third down and 1, 7:25 left here in the first half. Carney trying to do a keeper, and he's going to get tackled short. It's going to be 4th down again. They're really starting to struggle to get the edge. Oh, they're going to give him the first down. That was close. Now remember, they do have replay. I think the tackle actually got him the first down. He had to kind of sling Carney down, and he had to sling him forward. So first down at 10 for Munster, 6:54 left here in the first half. Now remember, they onside kick, so they get the ball in the second half. A minimal gain, about a 3-yard gain. It looked like he was only getting about a 1, but he got about 3. So if Munster plays this right, they could go double here. Score now, get the ball to begin the second half, score again. Now we got a flag as Carney's going to just try to throw the ball away. Looks like it's probably going to be against the offensive, like motion. So it's going to be an illegal shift on Munster. The second flag for them. Only 3 flags so far. 2 on Munster, 1 on Shiner. This actually might help Munster because it would have been 3rd and 7. It's now 2nd and 12. So you lose 5, but you get that, you get 1 play back. Empty set. Carney looking to throw, slings it out. Going to be about 3rd down and 5. So we're basically going to get about the same play. Now here's the fun thing about 2A. On the tackle is Shiner starting quarterback Shude. Grant Gooden won't be able to join me tonight. He'll be joining me tomorrow at halftime. So 3rd down and 8. So they gave him a gain of 4. Carney on the keeper. If he can get to the edge, he's going to get the first down. He's going to have to cut inside. He's going to lose, or not going to lose. He's not going to get the first down. He's going to be about 4 yards short. You're starting to see Shiner do a better job on the edges against Munster. So this is going to be a 4th and 5 right here with 4:46 left in the second half. Carney looking to throw on a mini rollout, has a man. Ball's going to be caught down to the 10. Inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. And once again, these two offenses on the 3rds and the 4th downs are just absolutely outstanding. And as you can tell, because the scoreboard's ahead of me, Munster's about to score as Kason Carney's going to get his third rushing touchdown. What a key drive this was. Facing 2 4th downs, and they convert both of them. So with 4:17 left, Munster now leads, as you can see on the scoreboard, 21-14. So can Shiner get more points before the end of the first? Again, remember the onside kick for Munster to start the game. So Shiner kind of has a little pressure. I mean, these teams have not stopped each other yet. So Shiner has that pressure now that they have got to get points this drive, or they're in danger of if they go 3 and out, Shiner would get the ball. I mean, Munster has the ball with plenty of time in this half alone, but even if they do, drive the field but not score, Munster gets the ball to start the second half. And as back and forth as this is, you kind of feel like if one team gets up 2 scores, it's going to be really, really tough. Sorry, we got some of those fake streamers jumping into the chats. We try to stop them when we can, but it's really hard when it's a one-man show like this. Again, we'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what time pregame starts. I haven't edited down Coach X and Grant's game reply. So if you don't know, the way we do that is we record that open where we just kind of talk general, and then I insert each game pick. So like before this game, they were both combined at almost 30 minutes. I kind of feel like all of them are about that time. So most of the pre-games will probably be 45 minutes before kickoff with a 10-minute timer to kind of let everybody get into the room, let me get settled in, make sure everything's streaming, make sure all the social media posts are posted. So look for us to start around 10:15 in the morning. Dustin Calabrese, welcome, and no problem. So Shiner will take over at the 31 with 4:14 left. Both quarterbacks have just been outstanding so far in different ways too. With Shooty, you're not the guy that you're going to throw for 250 and run for 150. You're going to get your yards and your plays, but you're there to navigate and drive the bus. And he's done a wonderful job here so far in the first half. They try to toss it off the Veer pitch right there, but this time Munster was ready. They had 4 guys with the pitch, man. Pitch responsibility was taken by everybody right there. So 2nd down and 11 now. Both defenses are starting to win some more downs, but again, they haven't been able to stop each other. 3:40 left here in the first half. Oh, they tried to do a little. So on that veer, you'll do that false step right and go left, or false step left and go right. And Shooty tried that. Munster shooting the gaps right there. Almost tackled him before he even had a step. Lucky that he kept the ball. And here we go. Another big third down. 2:57 left, and now if you're Shiner, you kind of want to try to run as much clock off as you can before you take the next step. And in fact, Munster now is going to call a timeout with 2:57 left. 2:57 left in the first half. Munster up 21-14 over Shiner. Shiner has the ball. A huge 3rd and 14 coming up, but I remind you that so far on the night, Shiner's 2 for 3 on third downs and 1 for 1 on fourth downs. So coming out of the timeout now, Shiner 3rd and 14. This feels like a very big moment. Not to be too cliche there, but this feels like a very big moment. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens here on 3rd and 14 with 2:57 left in the first half. Going to try to throw the ball deep. He has a man. Ball's going to be incomplete and no flag. So 4th down and 13 for Shiner, and it feels like this will be the first punt of the game. He had his guy out there. Shooty waited about a tick too late to throw that. Dude, Shiner's helmet, by the way, very underrated. Both of these teams have clean looks. Shiner will punt the ball. It's going to be a short punt. And there's a return on for Munster across the 50. Oh, we're going to have a face mask. Oh, they're not going to call it. Wow. So with 2:39 left here in the first half, this is the thing Shiner could not have happen. Munster, if they can score now and go up 28-14, they get the ball to start the second half. Coach Carney not happy with the non-call. It looked like there was a face mask. They haven't shown a replay, but the return man's helmet seemed like he kind of got whipped around. But still great field position for Munster at the 47-yard line of Shiner. 2:39 left. Oh, it's going to be intercepted. Oh, what a big play for Shiner's defense. Coming up across the field, trying to return it. Gets it across the 50. And wow, when Shiner needed a big play, they got it defensively. The first mistake for the Munster offense. Jarvis Williams with his 6th interception of the year. The freshman with 6 interceptions. We talked about how young these two teams were. Man, that is just so massive of a play. Even if they don't score here, that was a massive play for Shiner. Little confusion on the snap. 2nd down and 7, 2 minutes left for Shiner. Big play for Shiner up the middle, and Shiner is going to score a touchdown. What a time for another big play as the Comanches just will not go away. We talked about the youth. This time it was a sophomore, 44-yard touchdown. Clayton Fritz, and just that play opened up. Great blocking. Extra point attempt is up and good. And just like that, shockingly, after the 4th down and having to punt and Munster having good field position, the game is again turned on its heels as it's 21-21. Great blocking right there. And great job reading the blocks and right up the middle. And this Shiner offense, which you talk about, you know, hey, they're going to want to get 4 and 5 yards and all that. It's been big play after big play after big play. 2 of their touchdowns have went at least 20 yards. Boy, if you're Brady Carney, they show him on the sideline. You just got to be frustrated because it felt like, and it's felt like this a couple times even before this last few plays where Munster was close to taking control, and then Shiner, whether it's the interception, whether it's the 4th down and 11 touchdown, whether it's that touchdown, have just answered every time they've needed to. And that's what great teams do. But they, you know, Munster has time with 1:51 left. If they can get a good return, going to be up to about the 28-yard line with 1:48 left. Munster has 2 timeouts. Let's see how they play that. Do you want to be aggressive, or do you want to go, okay, let's be smart, let's run out the clock, we get the ball to start the second half? All right, 1st and 10 for Munster here. Let's see if they can kind of get back combobulated after they got discombobulated. And they do it with a keeper by Carney across the 30. A nice way to start the drive. And you can they're going fast, but they're not going like turbo fast. So they're trying to kind of do both. With 1:25, it's 2nd and 5. You want to see if you can get a 1st down and get outside the 40 before you really start going, okay, let's move the ball. Going to throw the ball, has a man downfield, but he overthrows him. Trying to hit Caden Clements, who has been quiet. Really, outside of Garrett Hess, the passing game has been kind of quiet for Munster. So now if you're Shiner, you got to watch out. I mean, if you're Munster, you got to watch out because if you don't get the 1st down here, Shiner could get the ball back. Man, the last 3 minutes of this half have been absolutely crazy. And Shiner is going to make the stop, and I bet they're going to call a timeout. And so with minute 7 left, in the first half, Shiner could get the ball back, or will get the ball back unless Munster does something crazy here. Man, they always talk about state championship games or big games, no matter the level. You know, it's a tell of how, you know, momentum just swings back and forth. And for most of this first half, Munster, while not truly in control, felt like they were closer in control. But Shiner has just answered back and answered back and answered back. Are they going to go for it? They're setting up the punt, though. Unless they have a punt fake on. They run the 3 up back with the angle kick. He looked for a minute and then decided to punt it, and a really good punt. Oh, it's going to take a huge monster roll inside the 15, and they're going to let it run until the official forces the stop. And that's going to run off 11 seconds and put Shiner inside their own 15. And you got to feel with Shiner's offense that they're not going to try to get too aggressive right here. Good line there, Craigway. So let's see what Shiner does here with 53 seconds left. Now, at the half, again, Grant won't be able to join us tonight. He will be at halftime starting tomorrow with the first game and all the games. But let's see how Shiner plays this with 53 seconds left. And they're going to just run the ball. It looks like they're going to let the clock run down. Now, if you're Munster, do you try to call a timeout here? "24 seconds left. Let's see if Munster calls a timeout. And no, they're not going to call a timeout. So it looks like both teams are going to let this go into halftime. Shiner does not have to take another snap. So that is going to be the first half. And what a half it was. We're tied, folks, 21-21. We're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to break down the halftime. Without having Grant here, though, I will tell you we'll probably run some extended quarter commercials. In fact, we're going to just do this. We're going to put the timer on, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, Terry Bennett back here. We are at half of the Class 2A Division II state championship game. And if all of the games that we're covering are like this one, at least how this first half has went, man, this is going to be a fun couple of days. Shiner 21, Munster 21. Looking at the stats on the game. Let me pull those back up real quick. Let me maximize that just so we can do this right now. I guess it won't let me maximize it past that. But anyway, 21-21. I mean, this is as even as you can be. Total yards, Shiner 210, Munster 190. Munster's thrown for 106 yards. Shiner's thrown for 29. But that was a huge play. It was a touchdown on 4th and 11. Munster has ran for 85 yards, but they've been better than just that. That 85 makes it, I say makes it sound bad. That's good for a half. Case and Carney leads the way, 65 yards. Technically only averaging 3.8 yards, but that's because of a couple sacks. He's ran for, he's had a lot of daylight. He has 3 touchdowns on the ground. He did throw the interception that led to Shiner tying the game up right when it looked like Munster was ready to take control because they got the ball in the second half. And it felt like, hey, even if they didn't score on that drive, if they just ran the half out, they'd have went into the half up 21-14, and then you get the ball. But hey, Shiner makes the interception. Jarvis Williams, the freshman, his 6th of the day. Then they immediately score and they tie it up. On the ground, Shiner 181 yards against a really good defense. Both of these offenses are doing this against really, really good defenses. Average yards per play stand out. Shiner, you kind of think of, they're running that veer for the most part. You kind of think, okay, they're going to not plod, but, they're going to try to grind you down. But it's been the big plays for them. As they're averaging 9.5. Munster's averaging a very solid 5.8, including 11.8 yards per completion. Shiner averaging 9.5 yards per rush. Quincy Jones leads the way, 6 carries, 87 yards. Again, for Munster, it's Casey Carney, 17 carries, 65 yards, but also 3 touchdowns. Garrett Hess with 3 catches for 48 yards. Jarvis Williams, who has the interception, also has the 1 reception for Shiner. And again, that was the big one, the 29-yard touchdown on 4th and 11. And again, Shiner has just hit big play after big play, and that's what's kept them in the game. It's 21-21. We still got a few minutes before the half begins. We're going to take a break on this Class 2A Division II state championship watching party.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age or any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easier to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard may control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. And with concussions I've got, I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
All right, Terry Bennett back here. On the broadcast, I'm not sure how many are actually watching the game with me or they're just using, us for the game. But it's they're doing a real good job talking to coaches about like what's it mean to lose? How do you handle that? How do you handle that as a coach? And how do you talk that to your program? All that kind of fun stuff. And it's interesting to see all of them talk about. You got John King, Billy Mathis, Jason Frizzell, Jeff Reardon, Antonio Wiley. Halftime, Shiner 21, Munster 21. You know what? We'll take another break. These halftimes go on. That's the one negative about high school football is the long halftimes. But we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easier to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. In the concussions I've got, I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, Nero Guard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
All right, everybody, now's the time. Brown right, motion, tailback slant. Let's put the women and children to bed and go looking for dinner, all right? On one, ready? Go, 13! Coming up, go, 13!
All right. We're waiting for the second half to start, 21-21. It's always like this when it comes to football, but especially when you're tied 21-21, what will be the adjustments in the second half? That's what's going to decide this game. All right, let's get the stat machine back up. As Munster will receive again, they onside kick to begin the game. All three touchdowns for Munster have been 29 yards or more. If you had asked me at the beginning of the game who would have had the big plays, I would have said Munster. And it's kind of been interesting how for Munster, it's been one guy as far as the touchdowns, 3 with Carney. And then with Shiner, all 3 of their touchdowns have been spread out. I genuinely don't know really. Again, it felt like for most of that first half, Munster had control. And then, Shiner just kept on answering and kept on answering. And, at some point, one of that breaks. Either Munster stops, almost being in control, or Shiner stops being able to answer. While we wait for kickoff, I want you to check out Lazy Dog Kettle Corn on Facebook. We appreciate them being a sponsor this year. Oh, Munster with a little bit of a mistake on the kickoff. If he'd have let it go out of bounds, it'd have been a penalty, but he grabbed it and goes up to the 25. Oh, he caught it. I thought he bounced. Never mind. He caught it. So here we go. Munster will begin the second half. We're tied 21-21. We thank everybody for joining us here on this watch party. Again, we'll be back for tomorrow's 3 games and then on the 2 games on Friday. Carney going to take the snap and going to keep it himself again. Going to break a tackle, get up near the first down. So Munster starts the third quarter, much like they've started the whole game, with Case and Carney running the ball. I do think they're going to have to diversify the running game a little bit in the second half. So it's going to be 2nd down and 3 now. First down. Oh, it's going to be close, actually. They're going to give him the spot. So it will be 1st down. So Munster starting out the second half, moving the ball well. $11 minutes left in the game. 1st and 10 for Munster at the 35, their own 35. And they're not even hiding anything right now. They're just straight running Case and Carney snap after snap after snap here to start this second half. And so far, it's been a success with 1 first down and now a 2nd down and 5. You got a funny feeling, though, they're about to pull either a fake bootleg or a little play action where it looks like he's going to do a QB draw and then step back and maybe try to hit Hess. Case and Carney kind of holding his stomach right there. Gonna throw a little bubble screen out. It's gonna be caught for a 1st down and more as Munster is moving the ball again. 21-21 the score. Munster with the ball. 10-14 left here in the 3rd quarter. Maverick Bayer with that catch. Back to Carney. He's going to get a big gain. He's going to get a 1st down. He's going to get across the 25. The Hornets are moving the ball again. Man, he is taking hit after hit, though. We have a Shiner Comanche injured. If you're going to the games tomorrow, Friday, or Saturday, you can use our promo code at SeatGeek, sideline to sideline. Just type that in, all one word, sideline, T-O sideline, on SeatGeek at www.seatgeek.com. And you can get $20 off of a purchase. I think it has to be over $30. And it has to be your first time using the app. So if you want to, you can sign up with a dummy account if you've already used them before. But that'll give you $20 off. If you're watching us through Facebook, I want to remind you we have a YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/@L4Media. Like and subscribe so you'll get notifications when we have content. It also helps us out as our YouTube channel because interaction is what helps get us YouTube ads. As we come back to the game after the timeout, they actually ran a play while they were in the commercial. But they made a good point on the broadcast. When you're talking at this level, man, when you get an injury, it's like having an injury at 2 positions for most of these guys because 90% of these teams are playing both ways. So 2nd down and 12 after the loss there. We didn't get to see that one. Now they're going to hand off to Noah Pill. And one thing Shiner has done a good job of is contain Noah Pill so far tonight. He's got 5 carries for 22 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and about 7. So 3rd down and 9, actually, with 8:41 left. So all of a sudden, this drive is kind of stalled. The injured Comanche, Noah Fritz, is back out on the field, so that's good to see. So big 3rd down here for Munster, looking to throw the ball. And it will be a 1st down and more across the 20. Boy, that's a big-time throw and a big-time catch. Garrett Hess, once again, whenever they need a big play in the passing game, it's usually to Garrett Hess. 4 catches, 63 yards on the game. Great throw, great catch, great route, too. So 1st down and 10 with 8 minutes left. Officials timeout as there's an issue with the 1st down chain. They're trying to fix that. First down, Carney going to keep it again. Oh, it looked like there for a minute he was about to break out and score. Good tackle, still a very nice gain of about 4. But man, that was a great tackle by 14 from Shiner. I don't have his name, but man, it looked like Carney was about to bounce that outside. So 2nd down and 6. Going to hand off to Pill again. He's going to break a tackle. His biggest gain of the night is going to set up a 3rd down. Not only are they moving the ball, but they're moving for them, plotting down the field, and I mean that in a positive way, as they're running clock. Third down and 1 here. Power set formation. They're not going to get it. It's going to be 4th and 1. Great job by Fritz. He was the guy that was hurt a few plays ago. He knifes in. He stops them. It's 4th and 1. What will Munster do here? Now, they do have a really solid field goal kicker. And they're going to get the 1st down on 4th and 1. And then they're going to score. Noah Pill takes it in from the 2-yard line, and Munster makes it 27-21 with 5:44 left in the 3rd quarter. Man, they took up almost half the 3rd quarter. A 13-play, 75-yard drive that took 6 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock. The 4th lead change as Munster. Now, Shiner has not led, but technically when it's a tie, you get a lead change. I guess does that count as a lead change or just as a tie? Either way, every time Shiner has tied on, Munster has answered, but Shiner has then turned around and answered them as well. Snap back on the extra point is good. It's 28-27 with 5:44 left here in the 3rd quarter. Boy, you cannot ask for anything more when it comes to the way to start the 11-mans off with Shiner and Munster. Last year, it was Terry Bussey and everything, but that game got so long at the end as Timpson dominated. I remember doing the game, and the way I had the old studio, I didn't even have a studio light on. We had a studio light, but I just didn't have it on. It was nighttime. And the way I sat back then, I had a lot more of the like the playoff tree, and I've got the sign behind me. But last year, I also had a lot of the Outdrank the Coverage studio, which is over on the other side now. So I'm sitting there in the dark, just lit up by these lights. And I'm not going to lie, folks, I was nodding off at one point. Don't have to worry about that for this game right here, as this has been everything you would want in this game. 28-21 as Munster leads. I want to thank everybody that has joined us. Again, we'll be back starting tomorrow for the 11 o'clock game. Pregame will probably be 10:15 or so. And then we'll be back for the 3 p.m. game. Pregame will probably be about 2:15 or so. And then that 7 o'clock game. Now, I'm enjoying this game, and I'm enjoying all of them. But I am looking forward to that Malakoff versus Columbus game tomorrow night. The Class 3A Division I state championship game that I think is going to be everything we've seen tonight so far times 2. Kilgore Salina. I still think Carthage and La Vega is going to be sneaky better than what people think. I don't have a feel for the Stanford Ganado game as far as like how the game's going to go. We'll just have to see. I think it's going to be a good game, but I don't know. But that's part of the fun of that when you don't, when you do this and you cover all these teams and you do all the research, you talk to coaches and stuff, sometimes you feel like you have, you've got your thumb on how everything's going to go. It's the games that don't go the way you think, that's the ones that are the most enjoyable. And then Woodville Gunner, that 3A Division II. Kind of feels like that Carthage La Vega. I could see Gunner winning by 3 or 4 touchdowns, but I could see Woodville with that offense and that athleticism keeping them in the game as Munster's going to kick off. It's going to be another short kick, going to be take up at the 30-yard line. And Shiner will take over at about the 31.5, trailing once again 28-21 with 5:38 left here in the third quarter. Again, we talked about it earlier. Shiner's touchdowns have all been big plays. Jarvis Williams for 29, Quincy Jones for 74, and Clayton Frick for 44. And other than that, and that's a big other than that, I know, Munster's done a good job defensively. It's just they haven't been able to stop the big plays from Shiner. Option pitch, and once again, Munster's there, and it's going to be a tackle for a loss for about 2 yards as Garrett Hess doing a good job on that pitch responsibility right there for the loss of 2. Jake Wheeler was there for support. The hitting's been good when the white helmets of Munster have a little purple from Shiner on it. Trading paint like NASCAR. Second down and 12. Going to be a toss sweep for about a 5-yard gain, so it's going to set up a manageable 3rd and 7 with 4:48 left here in the third quarter. If Shiner keeps this ball, you kind of feel like, and they're not, it's going to be 4th down. So now we're going to see I'm assuming we're going to see a punt. I was going to say, though, if they'd have kept the ball and drove down, this might have been one of those quarters where you only had 2 possessions, one for each team. So let's see what Shiner's going to do here. They're going to throw it deep, and it's going to be incomplete. Oh, they're going to call a flag. Well, they haven't made the official call. I was wondering because it said on the scoreboard 4th and 7. The scoreboard's sometimes a little bit ahead of me, but they're going to call pass interference, but I guess because of the injury, they haven't scoreboard. Yeah, that's pass interference. So big penalty right there. There hasn't been a ton of flags, as that'll only be the 3rd flag on Munster. But 2 of them, one of them was a 15. Well, 2 of them are now a 15-yarder. So that hurts. So it'll be 1st down and 10 on the 50 after the penalty. So once again, on a 3rd down, maybe not by converting themselves, but a penalty gives Shiner a 1st down. And once again, Shiner's teetering on that of giving up, where you're punting down 7, and yet a big play gets them another 1st down. Cheryl Lynn Montgomery says, "Go Hornets." Welcome to the chat. Toss sweep from the 50, going to be a gain of about 3 on the play. So it's going to be 2nd down and 7 with 4 minutes left. So as I was saying before the pass interference, if Shiner keeps this drive going like this, we might have only 2 possessions in this 3rd quarter. So 2nd down and 7 with 3:40 left here in the 3rd quarter. Shiner with the ball, down 7, 28-21. They have the ball at the Munster 48-yard line. Going to do a design quarterback carry. He's going to have a 1st down and more across the 40 up to the 36-yard line. So once again, the offense is moving no matter which team it is. We haven't really seen that many straight runs by Shude, so he kind of took a page book out of the Case and Carney role where he just took the snap and you knew immediately he was going to run the ball. He wasn't faking it by any stretch. So 1st down and 10 at the 36 of Munster for Shiner. Going to hand off. Going to be about a 5-yard gain down to the Munster 31. Second down and 5, 2:25 left in the 3rd. Split back veer. Shude's going to toss sweep it, going to find a lane, and going to be another 1st down for Shiner. Minute 55 left. First down and 10, split veer look, wide to the right. Going to do the little bell. No, going to be a tall sweep, and this time they fooled Munster down the sideline for a 1st down and more. Inside the 15-yard line, down to the 10, and 1st down and goal, actually. Now, this is actually kind of tough for them if they mark it at the 9 because they can't get a 1st down. That was one of the few times. The other one was the Jarvis Williams or Quincy Jones touchdown run where Munster kind of got fooled by the pitch. The pitch responsibility pinched too far in, allowed Shude to have a clear pitch lane. Nobody was there. So 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. Oh, I'm sorry, from the 7-yard line. I thought he went out at the 10. Going to toss sweep it. Going to be down inside the goal line. Almost. I thought he was going to score right there. Down to the 2-yard line. I do want to make a point. It looks like they're about to score. The extra point try for Shiner the last few times have been a little scary. Let's see if that comes into play if they score a touchdown here. Second and goal from the 2. Going to try to get it in. Going to be about a yard short, so it's going to set up a 3rd down and 1 with about 30 seconds left here in the quarter. He almost got in. In fact, I wonder if they're going to review that. No, I don't think he did. It's close, but he is literally knocking at the door. No, he was just short. Good camera angle right there, and you could see it. And they're going to try to snap it before the clock. Touchdown, Shiner. Schutte goes in for the quarterback keeper, and it's a 1 point away from being another tie. That'll be the final play of the 3rd quarter. They'll untime down it for the extra point, of course. Man, what a game this has been, folks. Again, it looked like they had them on 4th down, but a pass interference, and a good call, by the way, kept the drive going, and Shiner takes advantage of that. And once again, folks, we're tied. And I'm saying this, both teams have had to punt, and Munster has thrown an interception, which led to a touchdown. Here's the extra point to try. And it's going to be a missed extra point. Not like I thought it was a bad snap, but there's a flag down, so let's see what the call is. Offsides on Munster. So will they try for 2 right now? They're going to go for 2, and they make it. Shiner takes the lead 29-28. Wow. So 2 huge penalties. One that kept the drive going, and then this one that allowed a missed extra point to become a 2-point conversion, and Schutte puts it in. And just like that, in a game that Munster has led or been tied all game long, the last play of the 3rd quarter, Shiner takes the lead 29-28. What a game this has been, folks. We're going to take a quick break here. 29-28 to start the 4th quarter. Munster down for the first time all night. They'll get the ball when we come back.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easier to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. And the concussions I've got, I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, Nero Guard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
Terry Bennett back here as we start the fourth quarter in an amazing game as Shiner with the 2-point conversion makes it 29-28. First time they've led all night long. It has felt like 3 or 4 times that Munster was on the verge of taking control, and whether it be by great plays by Shiner, a 4th and 11 they converted into a touchdown, a 1st and 25 they converted into a touchdown, or penalties on this last drive, a pass interference that took a 4th down to a 1st down, and then on a bad snap, but an offside on the extra point, and wisely deciding to go for 2, and they get it. And so now Munster, for the first time all night, the back's against the wall. Let's see how this drive works. If Munster's not careful, this drive could get out of hand really quick for them. The ball's going to get past the Munster return man, but it is going to go into the end zone. Oh, as I said that, they almost had disaster. They kind of misread the short pooch kick, and it went over them, but luckily for them, it rolled all the way into the end zone. So Munster will take over 1st and 10 at the 20. Showing Brady Carney's bio, 167 wins, 36 losses, 41-13 in the playoffs, a 3-time state semifinalist, and of course, 1 state in 2017. They're going to start off a little bubble to peel. He's going to get a nice gain across the 30. So 2nd and 4 now for Munster. Carney going to keep it. He gets bottled up, though. He's going to lose a yard, so it's going to be 3rd and 5. So 29-28. 3rd down and 4. You kind of feel like Munster has to get a 1st down here. They're going to throw it off the head. It's going to be a big gain down to the 50, across the 50 to the 48, and Munster with the 1st down. Garrett Hess. That almost looked like an old school 6-man play. The way it rolled out, and Carney just kind of pitched it over the defender. Hess was kind of just enough out in space to catch it. Man, what a big play. 1st down and 10, going to be a 1-yard gain to the 47 as Carney gets bottled up again. They've done a better job in this second half on Carney. Second down and 9 now. Carney rolling out, looking to throw, has a man, going to be a 1st down and more. Garrett Hess with a big play. I'm sorry, that was Maverick Bayer the first time. Garrett Hess on this one. So 1st and 10 for Shiner 1st and 10 for Munster at the Shiner 35. That might have been out of bounds. I think they're going to review this. I think this might be incomplete. Again, there is replay here at the state championships. I think that's going to be a catch. I think the right knee hits, then the left knee hits. Great catch right there. That's not a catch. Actually, he doesn't have control. I think this is actually going to be incomplete after they show that one. Let's see what the call is going to be, though. (29-28). Shiner leads. Munster's driving. A huge call coming up right here, though. And they're going to turn it down. They're going to say no catch. I think that's the right call. So now it's 3rd down and 7. So 3rd down and 7 now. You got to feel it's 4-down territory. So here we go. 3rd down and 7 now after the completion was overturned, and a good call by the officials. Or excuse me, 3rd and 10. I said 3rd and 7. It's 3rd and 10 at the 47. 9:56 left in the game. Shotgun look. Carney now going to do a quick throw out, trying to get a little wide receiver screen. Makes one man miss. Makes a second. Going to be short of the 1st down, but going to make it a 4th down and very makeable play for Munster here. Going to be Carney. He's just going to get it. Actually, we're still waiting to see what the spot is. They're going to measure it. Dude, this is a huge measure coming up right here. Still 9:23 left in the game, but just the way this game is going, you just don't feel like either team from the rest of the point on can give up a possession and still expect to win. He's going to be short. He is short. Wow. So the 4th quarter has not been kind for Munster. They go to timeout. So with 9:23 left, Shiner, who has either led or been tied 90% of the game, tied it up at 20 or scored to make it 28-27, went for the extra point. The snap was bad, but a Munster player was offside. So when they moved the ball to half the distance, Shiner rightfully said, let's just go for 2. They make it. Munster gets the ball back. It looks like they're driving. They have a catch that's overturned. Correct call. And then right then on 4th, they just end up short. I wonder if maybe they review the spot. We'll see, because it was close. I thought he had it, but it's really hard to tell where his knee hit. And I just wonder if maybe they review that. Well, this has been everything we wanted it to be to start our 11-man state championship week. And again, we're going to be here tomorrow for all 3 games, and then for Friday, the first 2 games. And then intern Noe and I are going to jump over on Outdrink the Coverage Friday night, and we're going to do a live watch party for Indiana versus Notre Dame. He'll also be here for that Class 4A Division I matchup of Kilgore versus Salina. Long commercial break here, so I'm wondering if maybe they are reviewing it. One thing I always love about the coming in and out of the breaks is they'll show a lot of the older state championship games, like showing Shadow Creek and showing Todd Dodge when he'd won 3 straight for Austin Westlake, becoming the first 6A team to do that. Now they're showing Franklin from, I think, last year. Man, you cannot. If y'all remember that Cowboy Raider game a few years ago when they broke out the card, it was almost that close. So here we go. Munster's defense has got to do what they really haven't done all night, and that's make a stop if they want to stay in this game. 1st and 10 for Shiner. Going to toss pitch it. Ball's on the ground. Going to be recovered by Shiner, but it's going to be a huge loss of 2nd and 14. Nine minutes left. The clock is in Shiner's favor, but there's still plenty of time. So 2nd down and 14. Chute looking to pass. Going to try to throw the ball deep. Has a man on the post route, and he drops the ball. It'll be 3rd down and 14. Oh, man. Had a step or 2 on the corner, and the Shiner Comanche receiver, the ball just goes right through the hands. Craig Way on the broadcast brought up a good point. You know, these guys are used to seeing the sky when they look up in a game, and then, you know, they're here at AT&T for the first time, and they look up and they're seeing lights and scoreboards. Huge 3rd down and 14 coming up now. Back to pass. Going to try to go deep again. Confused with his wide receiver, and it's going to be 4th down. So Munster holds at a huge key moment, and they should get the ball back. The first 3 and out for Shiner offensively tonight. So Munster's going to punt now. Only the 2nd punt of the night for Shiner. Very high, very good punt. Fair catch called for at the 24-yard line. And that's where Munster will set up with 8:26 left in the game. Shiner leads 29-28. You can't ask for much more, folks. This has been a blast. Patrick Divot in our Patreon chat said that he felt that Shiner needed to run it more than once there. I can see the point, but I also think that, you know, you want to go for a kill shot right there. And to be fair, they had a touchdown and it got dropped. Speaking of our Patreon, you can join our Patreon community at patreon.com/@L4Media. We're going to have some great things starting in 2025. We're going to have some sideline to sideline Patreon stuff. We're going to have Outdrank the coverage. We're going to have a couple of other things that are even not even the scope of football or sports with balls. Just think of like maybe hunting and fishing. So please check out our Patreon. For $3 a month, you get great content from the L4 Media Company at patreon.com/@L4Media. Still in a commercial timeout. Munster will take over the ball. $8:26 will be left in the game. Munster would love to have about a 5-minute drive here. First play, Carney's going to take it himself. He's going to break a tackle outside. He gets a block down the mid sideline to the 40 and a first down for Munster. Well, that's a great start for them. Little misdirection, and then Carney kind of went right, saw the block, and kicked back left outside. He got a good seal block. That's the first time in a few drives that Carney's had that much of a lane. Going to hand off to Peel now, and he's going to get a nice lane. All of a sudden, this Munster offensive line is opening up some gaps as he gets it across the 45 for a second down and probably about 5. Greg Tepper talking about it. Great point. And we've said it when we were talking about injuries earlier. A lot of these guys are playing both ways right now, and you're kind of starting to see that. And usually when you're playing both ways, the tiredness will show defensively first. Carney going to keep it himself, going to break through across the 50, right at the 50, and that's going to set up a third down and short. Mark in the chat asked about how to watch this. You can watch on the FanDuel network. And by the way, you can get a 7-day trial of Fubo, and you can watch it for free. Just remember to turn your, to cancel after the state championship. That's how everybody here at L4 Media is watching it. Now we're going to have a stoppage of play. Munster's going to call a timeout. That's how important this 3rd and 2 is, because when you're in a 1-point game in the second half, you do not want to burn a timeout unless you do not want to have a 5-yard penalty. And on 3rd and 2, you do not want to have a 5-yard penalty. So that's how important this play is coming up for Munster at the 50-yard line. They're showing the 2017 state championship. No problem, Mark. Thanks for joining us. Hope you, even as you watch the game, you'll still have us on the computer listening and talking with us. But that 2017 game, that Munster beating Tenaha 27-20. They also won the baseball and basketball state championships that year. Any TSN lives in the chat? Great game so far. You're exactly right. Good, sir. 7:10 left, 29-28. Shiner leads. Carney going to take it on 3rd down. Going to get the first down and more up to 30 or 45 down to the 42 with 7 minutes left. Well, it's technically 7:04, but it'll be 7 minutes after the. Now you're starting to see Munster kind of try to wind the clock a little bit as they drive down. Carney on a keeper this time, going to get up to the 40. And right there, and if you're watching the game, you just saw it. Case and Carney, what makes him so good, Shiner had him bottled up, and yet he's able to kind of find a way to turn a no gain into a 2-yard gain. And in this game where every yard, as we saw earlier, matters, that's a big play. Now they're moving a little bit faster, going to do a quick little angle out, and that's going to be blown up. Going to be caught for a yard loss, and once again, it's going to be 3rd down and long. That would have been a better situation for the receiver to let the ball drop. Man, great play right there by the Shiner defense. So a big 3rd down and 9 with 6 minutes left. Time is becoming an issue if you don't convert this first down. And you know it's 4-down territory. Carney looking to throw. Nobody's open. He's going to roll. Now he's going to throw late. Ball's going to be tipped up and almost intercepted. 4th down and 9 with 5:42 left for Munster. Ball's thrown a little bit behind Garrett Hess. If he throws it out in front, I think that's a first down, or at least right at the sticks. But here it is, 5:42 left. They're going to punt it. They're going to have to hurry up, or they're going to have to burn another timeout. And, dude, if you burn it, and they are. Wow. That hurts right there for Munster. That makes this 4th and 9 if they decide to go for it, and you almost feel like they have to now, but that makes this 4th and 9 even bigger because they have now burned 2 timeouts on this drive. Of course, the game's tomorrow: Stanford versus Ganado, Gunner versus Woodville, Malakoff versus Columbus, and we'll be here for all 3 of those. If you didn't see the picture on our Facebook page, Sideline to Sideline, just type in Sideline to Sideline. You'll see my setup now. I've got 4 screens. I got 2 of them for the cameras and then 1 to watch the game, and then my laptop just to do all the other stuff. And they are going to punt now, or at least line up to punt. Oh, no, so they didn't. So Coach Carney, I think, did a wonderful job right there. He went ahead and took the delay of game, kept the timeout, and then the punt goes all the way down to the 1-inch line. So back-to-back punts for Munster were amazing. So now Shiner backs against their own goal line. You make a mistake here, and Munster might not even have to score a touchdown. Shooty's just going to do straight out, try to do a little quarterback draw. He almost breaks through. He's going to get up to the 5-yard line. What a big first down play for Shiner, because now on 2nd down, you can run your basic offense. So 2nd down and 5 with 5 minutes left now. Shiner up by 1 with the ball, trying to get out of the shadow of their own end zone and, more importantly, grind this game down. Munster with 2 timeouts. They're going to toss it. Great tackle, but he breaks it, but then secondary comes in and helps him. It's going to be 3rd down now with 4:35 left. Biggest play of the game is coming up right now. $4:15 left. 3rd and 4. Shiner's in no hurry to snap. 15 seconds left on the game clock. Shooty in the shotgun. They like to run him here. Now we're going to have a timeout. Shiner wants to talk this over. Good job by the Shiner coaching staff, knowing they didn't want to snap the ball, but taking that play clock all the way down to 1 before calling the timeout and just burning off precious seconds for Munster if Munster wants to get the ball back. But they got to make a stop right here on 3rd and 5. Again, they kept that timeout at the 4th and 7 or 4th and 9, went ahead and took the penalty to keep the timeout. So Munster does have 2 timeouts. It's crazy to think that this game could be won on a bad snap off of an offsides, which allowed Shiner to, instead of tying it with an extra point, to go ahead and go for 2 and getting it. You cannot ask for anything better in a state championship football game than a game like this. Mark H says he'll be in AT&T Stadium Friday to root on his Kilgore Bulldogs. They've got a heck of a heavyweight battle with Salina for the Class 4A Division I state championship. So here we go. 3rd down and 5 for Shiner. 3:58 left. They have the lead. They have the ball. And both are on a thin line right now with a 1-point lead. 3rd down and 4 officially. Spread out shotgun. They're going to run Shooty to the side. He's not going to get it. It's going to be 4th down. Munster holds. I mean, they hold on downs, not like have a hold. Big play for the defense. So where that punt put Shiner, Munster should get really good field position right here. With 3:20 left. Now, Munster, if they could get the ball right here with no mistakes, the clock actually helps them. It's going to be a very short punt. A good return for Munster down to the 25, inside the 20 to the 18-yard line, and Munster will start in great field position with 3 minutes and 8 seconds left. As Mark just said, wow, insanity, what a game. Dude, you are not kidding. All because of a great punt set this up for Munster. If Munster wins this game, even with their mistakes, with the interception and a couple of those, it's come down to their special teams has been important. 2 good punts and a couple good returns. No appeal now. I'll take it up to the 15-yard line. And Mark asked if they have a good field goal kicker. Yeah, he's a pretty solid kicker. He's an exchange student from Spain. His dad was actually an exchange student from Spain at Munster as well. So that's a real cool story. Now, what time does Shiner start calling timeouts? So 2nd down and 5, 2:33 left. Munster down by 1. They have the ball at the 14-yard line of Shiner. They're going to hand off to him. It's going to be 3rd down. Let's see if Shiner calls a timeout now. So the clock goes to 1:59, 3rd down and 3. If Shiner wants to have some time on this one, they've got to make a stop here because you got to feel Munster will go for the field goal. Carney looking to run, trying to get the 1st down, and he does. What a huge 1st down. Shiner has to start calling timeouts now. They only have 2. What a run by Case and Carney. It was a designed run all the way. Shiner was not fooled. Contain did a good job of setting the edge. Going to hand it off, or no, going to keep it to Carney. He's going to bounce it outside of the 5, and then he's going to, I'm not going to say that he didn't try to score, but I think that he slow played it, understanding that you don't want to score too soon. Shiner is not calling a timeout. So 46 seconds left. Carney going to take it, going to break a tackle to the 5, dragging a defender into the end zone. Munster retakes the lead with 40 seconds left. Now, will they go for 2? You have to. Let's see if they're going to go for 2. They're going to call a timeout and talk about it. Dude, this is one of those that, you know, when you're a third party, you want just, you know, you're enjoying the game, and we've had a, you know, show with Brady Carney the last 3 years for Munster, but no matter who wins, you just feel bad for the team that loses, because this is one of those where both teams, you know, mistakes were made, but nothing tragic. Both of these teams played pretty darn good for the most part. Greg Tepper was making the case of just kicking it, but I mean, why not? Just go for 2. I mean, it doesn't hurt. If you miss it, you miss it. If you don't, you force them to have to make a decision if they're able to score. Now, tonight we won't really have a post game because this is the first night. We will next week or tomorrow, as Carney's going to go for 2. Look at the throw. Has a man back of the end zone, and it's 36-29 Munster with 40 seconds left. But Grant Goodwin will join me for post games. Also, Brett Sweeney from NETSN Live, he'll join me for some post games. He also might just pop in it from a couple times during the game. Mark H. talking about Kilgore in the state championship game. The last time and the only time they won state was back in 2004. The famous blocked the field goal in overtime against Lincoln. You know, that was, you know, just one of the most epic classic moments. It gets lost because everything now is in one spot and everything's kind of, I'm not saying that the state championship era changed when it all moved to AT&T, but it kind of did. And so now everybody just kind of refers to from when it started, you know, 12 years ago at AT&T. But, man, that was a classic game. Greg Tapper brought up a good point. Do they still pooch kick it? They've been pooch kicking it all that game. Do you take it a little deeper this time? Talking about that Kilgore, that began that epic run where now Duncanville head coach Reginald Samples couldn't win a state championship, and it was a Hail Mary, a blocked field goal. This time they do kick it a little bit deeper. Good pursuit, and Shiner with 36 seconds left will have to So let's see what Shiner can do here. Not a lot of time. They have gotten behind Munster a couple of times. They had the 4th and 11 29-yard touchdown, and they had a couple others, but you got to feel Munster's going to be playing back safe. I mean, Shiner's going to have to go 80 yards or 79 officially with 36 seconds left and 2 timeouts. Shude back to pass, trying to set up the screen. They've got it set up. He's got some blockers. He's to the 25. He's to the 30, down to the 40. A great way to start this drive with 27 seconds left. Let's see if they spike the ball here, and they will. So 24 seconds left. That's as good of a first play you can have when you need to go 79 yards. If you can get 20 yards in 6 seconds, that's pretty good. You have Shiner still has 2 timeouts. I mean, it's going to still take a lot of work, but they've now at least put themselves in a position to where they have a legitimate chance with 24 seconds left. 2nd down and 10, though. Remember that. Shude back. Gets out of bounds, about a gain of 7, maybe 8, with 19 seconds left. Getting the ball out of bounds, it can be an 8-yard gain. Getting ball out of bounds is great, but you're going to have to get another big chunk play. You want to get it to where you can throw into the end zone at least twice, but you're going to have to do that right now with a big play. Playoff tree is enjoying this one. So 3rd down and 2. Remember, it's 3rd down, not 2nd down. Trying to set up the screen again, and he's going to fall down. He made the catch, but fell down. It's going to be 4th down and long. Oh, that's one of those. And you know, this happens at every level. This isn't a high school. You see it in pro. You would love to have the wherewithal there for your guy to realize, I just need to let this ball hit the ground. It'll be 4th and 2. Now it's 4th and 7, and they had to use a timeout, and 13 seconds are left. Man, he had blockers too. Greg Tepper brought up a good point. It's not only about scoring with 15 seconds left. You've got to get 7 yards right here to just keep this alive. You still have a timeout, so you can throw to the middle of the field and then hope you're throwing for the end zone. So here we go, 4th and 7 with 15 seconds left. Shiner with their last gasp. Shude can run if he wants, so he's going to get the 1st down. He's going to stay in bounds and go across the 45. 9 seconds left. They're getting point where they could throw to the end zone. So 9 seconds left. Shiner still has life. They're at the point now where they probably could throw to the end zone or close to it. Shude back to pass. Intercepted. Munster is going to win state with 1 second left. Munster gets the interception, holds on. And holy cow, folks, if the rest of the games are like this, this is going to be one of the most epic state championship weeks we've seen since they went to AT&T. Back and forth this game went. Munster wins the state championship. Munster's second football state championship. Their first one was in 2017, and that was a hell of a game too when they beat Tenaha 27-20. This time they hold on and beat Shiner 36-29. I'm assuming Kason Carney's the offensive player of the game with the game that he had. Again, we will be back tomorrow, probably at about 10:15 or so. Jeremy Hargrove said Shiner's going to be a problem going forward. Hey, I said this earlier in the broadcast. Do not be surprised if these two teams back next year. Both of them are chock full of juniors and sophomores. Kason Carney's a junior. Shude's a junior for Shiner. That running back, Quincy Jones, is a sophomore. Javon Williams, who had the interception and the touchdown, he's a freshman. Or Jarvis Williams, excuse me. So, yeah, do not be surprised if these two teams aren't back next year. But, wow, what a way to start championship. We're going to end the stream here, folks. Tomorrow we'll have some more people on to help me out, so we'll go a little bit longer with post games and such. Grant Goodwin will be here, Brett Swinney of NETSN. But we got a long next 2 days, so we're going to end it now. Munster gets their second state championship by beating Shiner in an absolute classic 36-29. And until tomorrow, this is Terry Bennett with Sideline to Sideline right here on L4.